Yo. I think we are live. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Who's excited? Friday slate. 8 gamer. Should be a fun one. I always love these Friday slates, man. Always love these Friday slates. What's up, everybody? Vendetta, what's up, my man? KMB Squid, happy Friday. Same to you, my man. Nico, what's up? Jason R, what's up, man? Been here since the GOAT days. I appreciate that. KD over LeBron. Happy Friday, folks. What's up, Chris? What's up, Christopher? Yo. What's up, Rick? We're going to break down this 8-gamer. More so Q&A rather than a breakdown. You know, if you want my breakdown, I made my video last night. You can check that out. This is more so just, me answering your guys' questions. I know we may have some new faces. As I start streaming more, the stream's going to start growing. We're going to get new people in here. So for about the next hour till about 4:30, we'll just be answering questions, talking through this slate, just whatever you guys got for me. How old are you? I am 21, Nico. 21. What's good, Noah? What's up, Trevor? What's up? Let's get it. Yes, sir, KJ. Start the questions. Yeah, just start the questions, guys. Whatever you guys got about this slate, I'll be sure to answer them. Nothing, we got no news, throughout the day. We haven't had anything come out since I made my video last night. There's still just so many question marks. Jaylen Brown is still questionable. John Morant's still questionable. Drew Holiday's probable, but Jaylen Brown, Morant, Bledsoe, and I guess LeBron too. It's kind of weird. They came out and said, the Lakers did, that Anthony Davis is playing, but they never said if LeBron's playing or not. So that's kind of weird. I'm assuming he plays, but yeah, we still got about 3 or 4 guys questionable. Lou Will and Patrick Beverley are still questionable too, so that's kind of impactful. How do you like Vucevic over or under 44? I don't bet on player props or anything like that, but I guess I'd probably take the over there. Just, with how the Magic are in their situation right now, it's just Vooch and Aaron Gordon just doing everything. So, yeah, I'd probably take the over. Noah, what's up, Go? Thanks for the live. You guys are missing out if you don't sign up for the Discord yet. Get in the Discord. Check out the Patreon if you want to, get some more premium content from me. Yo, Noah, what's up, Zachary? Vooch or Towns? Give me Towns between those two, Nico. Who's your top options at small forward? Yeah, small forward kind of sucks tonight. There's not much that I really like. I think if, talking DraftKings, given the dual positional eligibility, if Jaylen Brown plays, I really like him at 8,900. There's definitely some cheaper options I'll be looking to at small forward. I think Josh Okogie, 3,600. Juancho Hernan-Gomez is out. So, maybe we get close to 30 minutes from Josh Okogie. He played 27 last game. He started last game. I think he's someone I'd be looking to for small forward value. On Yahoo, small forward is so bad. There's just not anything that really stands out. Brandon Ingram you could pay up for at 39, but really I think going cheap here. If Josh Hart starts again, he's only $15. Bojan against the Hawks for $12. James Johnson for $11. It's kind of what I'm looking at small forward. Small forward by far is the grossest position out of all today. 100%. What do you think about a Conley-Clarkson run back with Trae Young? I don't mind that. I like Conley and Young tonight. Clarkson, I'm not the biggest fan of, but with Joe Ingles out, you could definitely look to Clarkson. He did have a big game last time out with Clarkson or with Joe Ingles out. Damian Dotson thoughts on Yahoo. Yeah, he's still in play with Sexton out, with Garland out. Damian Dotson's going to play a ton of minutes. I don't mind him. I think there's other guys I'd probably rather look to, but yeah, Dotson's fine. What's the position to pay up at on Yahoo, and what's the position to go down at? It's all slate dependent, but I think today's slate, small forward looks like a position you probably just want to pay down at with some of the guys we mentioned. Power forward, I like the top options. I like Giannis a lot. I like Julius Randle. I think paying up at power forward makes a lot of sense. Point guard, you could always pay up for Luka. I like SGA as a kind of a top tier option there. Definitely paying down at small forward. I think is going to be the way to go on Yahoo today for sure. How do you like Drummond and Randle? Drummond, I'm a bit worried about. I think Jared Allen might actually play today, which I wasn't expecting, but I saw a report that they're expecting him to play. So if Jared Allen plays, that's definitely going to throw a wrench into things. I have no idea, if they're going to start Allen alongside Drummond, if Allen's going to be Drummond's backup. I have no idea what they do here. I'd be more likely to play Towns over Drummond today. But who was the other one you asked? Oh, Julius Randle. Yeah, Julius Randle I do like a lot. I think he's one of the better pay-up options on the slate. I always like Julius Randle. For sure on today's slate, I like him. Favorite cheap values at every position? I don't know about every position, but I can give you a couple cheap guys I'm looking at. Like NAW, I still like. He's cheap. $15 on Yahoo. I think he's $4,400 on DraftKings. We'll have to keep an eye on the status of Eric Bledsoe. If Bledsoe plays, that'll definitely make things more interesting. With Bledsoe in there, I don't know what NAW's minutes will look like. With Lonzo and Bledsoe both out last game, he got 33 minutes. Obviously, was massive chalk. He had a huge game, 52 DraftKings points. If Bledsoe plays, I don't think NAW plays 33 minutes again. I think 24 to 26 is more likely. But still, he's a high-usage player. He's a productive player. He could still get there in 24, 26 minutes. But I would prefer for Bledsoe to be out. But like NAW, I think regardless is a good value. If Baisley's out, you got this Pokovetsky guy from OKC. I would assume that he probably starts if Baisley's out. He's only 3,300. He's been productive this year when given minutes, close to 0.9 fantasy points per minute on the season. You could look there for a cheap option. Those are just kind of the few guys I'm looking at. James Johnson continues to get 26, 27 minutes off the bench. No Maxi Kleber, no Dorian Finney-Smith. They're pretty thin in the front court. He's going to play probably 26, 28 minutes again. He's still somewhat cheap. You could look there. Those are kind of the values that stand out right now. Really no values opened up, though, as the day's gone on. Like, there's still no news has came out since I made my video last night. Still a lot of question marks, especially like on the Celtics side. If Jaylen Brown does not play, then that definitely gives us some value with like Peyton Pritchard and Jeff Teague. Those guys would both become pretty good values if Brown's out. I guess Brown plays. Like, my best guess is he plays, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see here. This is the 7:30 game, so we'll have that news before lock. But yeah, we could get some value from Boston if Jaylen Brown's out. Is Xavier Tillman in play for value? Don't ban me for asking. I haven't looked at Xavier Tillman. I don't even know how many minutes he's been playing recently. I mean, yeah, he's only getting like 18 to 20 minutes. Like, we have these guys like Xavier Tillman that, they're backup, whatever. He's center, I guess. Backup center, probably going to play 16 to 18 minutes. Sure, he could give you 20, 25 points in 16 or 18 minutes, but there's just, I just rather, like, I don't really play these guys that only get 16, 18 minutes. Like, I want all my guys playing at least 25, 26 minutes, unless they're just so productive when they're on the floor. That's a different story, but Xavier Tillman, I'm not going there personally. Just plug in Gordon and Randall at the power forward spots. Yeah, I agree. Both those guys do look good tonight. Talking Yahoo, I think Aaron Gordon looks really good on Yahoo. He's $26. That definitely feels a little bit too cheap. NAW, Teague, Jalen, James Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Giannis, Holmes, Halliburton. Thoughts on Yahoo cash? I mean, like I don't know if I'd want to play Teague in cash if Jaylen Brown's in. I think Teague becomes cash viable if Jaylen Brown is out. But Holmes and Halliburton, I don't know if I'd be playing those guys in cash. I mean, the rest looks solid. I'd just be a little iffy on Holmes, Halliburton, and cash with Teague in there too. But now if Jalen gets ruled out, then yeah, those Celtics guys will for sure become like cash viable. I just don't know what their minutes are going to look like if Jalen plays. Like, Teague could play 20 minutes. He could play 18. He could play 26. Like, it's kind of, you're kind of guessing at that point. But if Jalen's out, I think, Teague probably gets close to 30 minutes. And at that point, oh yeah, cash viable for sure. By the way, Embiid's busted my lineup, was very heavy on him. Who's your best value? I mean, it depends on injuries. There's some question marks right now. I think if Baisley gets ruled out and Pajeski starts, then he's probably a really good value at 3,300. If Jaylen Brown's out, I really like Teague as a value at 4,400. But a lot of it's injury dependent right now. We just have to wait for news. Maybe we'll get some news while we're on the stream. But for now, it's just we're waiting on see what these guys are going to do that are questionable. Favorite point per dollar play on DraftKings? I mean, let me see. I mean, I think SGA is too cheap on DraftKings. I like him a ton at 7,700. I think he can easily go for 50 tonight against the Bulls. Bulls are playing at the second fastest pace in the league, I believe. They're not a good defensive team. Like, you couldn't draw up a better spot for SGA tonight. If Brown and Tice are out, plug in Teague and Thompson. Yeah, those would be the two guys I would be looking to first. Brown and Tice both questionable. If they both miss, I think Teague, Thompson be the first two guys I'd be looking to. I'm going over on Grant Williams, projected at less than 6% right now. Yeah, Grant Williams, he might start tonight if Jason Tatum's out, but depending on what happens with Tice, I think if Tice plays, then their starting lineup will probably be, assuming Brown plays too, they'll probably start Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Thompson, Tice. I don't know who would get that fifth spot though. It could be Grant Williams. Grant Williams could definitely start, so yeah, he could be viable. I assume he's probably going to be low owned. Thoughts on building around building a team around Doncic and Giannis for GPPs, yeah, I think that's totally fine for sure. If you can make it work, Sammy. I'm for sure going to have some Luka and Giannis lineups tonight. Do you like Zubac? I mean, not really. Like when Ibaka's healthy, I don't really play Zubac. That's just me personally. Edwards could be a sleeper. Culver, Okogie, and Vanderbilt. Yeah, he could be. Rubio's out, Layman's out, and Hernan Gomez is out for Minnesota. So that's the minutes that are going to go around. I think Edwards soaks up a lot of Rubio's minutes. I think Okogie will soak up some of Hernan Gomez's minutes. Vanderbilt could get some more minutes as well. Like those should be the three guys that benefit the most with all those guys out. If you had to choose at center between Lopez and Willie Cauley-Stein, who has more upside? I think Willie Cauley-Stein gives you more upside. I'd choose him. I rarely, like when Giannis, when all those guys are healthy for Milwaukee, like I just rarely play Brook Lopez. Man, I missed the good old Yahoo days of 10 entry max. Pulled some serious cash back then. I feel you, T-Bone. Those were the good days, man. That was when Yahoo was the easiest to win, when there was no CSV edits, there was not a ton of pros playing on Yahoo. Every contest was 10 entry max. Man, those were the good days. As of now, who's your Yahoo cash lock / core? I mean, I don't give out core plays anymore. Like, that's on Patreon. I mean, I give my early core in my video, but if you want my full core plays, those are posted on Patreon. I mean, I've talked about already a couple guys I like on Yahoo, Brian, so you rewind the stream if you missed it, I guess. Bump to Horford, also if Baisley is out. Yeah, he'd get a little bump, but still, I don't know if I want to play Al Horford on this slate, on an 8-game slate. Probably not going to be on Al Horford. Luka or Giannis, I like both, but if I had to choose one, give me Giannis. Bogey, my sleeper. If you're talking about Bojan Bogdanovic, then yeah, I think he's a good sleeper. Against Atlanta, I do like him quite a bit, especially on Yahoo. Bojan's really cheap on Yahoo, $12 at a pretty bad small forward position. Is Terrence Ross going to draw ownership just because how small forward is so thin? Probably not. Even though the small forward position is bad, I don't think Terrence Ross is going to be too popular tonight, especially not against Boston. Like really, nobody on Orlando is going to be that popular at all. Maybe Aaron Gordon gets like 7 or 8% ownership, but like nothing in double digits, I don't think. Would Jordan Clarkson be a good play tonight? Yeah, he's viable for sure. With Joe Ingles out, like Clarkson should be locked into about mid-20s minutes off the bench. We know he's a guy that when he comes on the floor, he's just going to be out there chucking shots up. He has upside for sure. Good matchup against the Hawks. I wish he was a bit cheaper, but yeah, Jordan Clarkson is in play. Peyton Pritchard, I do like Pritchard if Jaylen Brown gets ruled out, but if Jaylen Brown plays, I won't be going to Peyton Pritchard. What do you think about Smart if Brown is out? Yeah, Smart would definitely get a boost. He's a little bit too expensive for me on DraftKings. He's like way up there, I think. Yeah, he's 7,600 on DraftKings. Like I would much rather play SGA over Smart, but I think on Yahoo, if Jaylen Brown gets ruled out, then $27 for Marcus Smart, that looks a little bit more appealing. If I was going to play him tonight, it would be on Yahoo for sure. Happy Friday from ATX. Happy Friday, Sammy. Hope you have a good weekend, my man. I don't think I'm going to be streaming this weekend, guys. At least not tomorrow. I won't have a stream tomorrow, but I might go live Sunday. I haven't decided yet. I got plans tomorrow, but I'll just be chilling, watching football this weekend. I might go live Sunday, though. I'm not even sure how many games there are Sunday. What do you think about Shea, Brown, NAW, Josh Hart, Giannis, James Johnson, JV, Willie? That looks pretty good. I like that lineup. At least for now, that looks pretty good. Theo Meldon, Xavier Tillman. What do you think about these deep value plays? I'll be honest, I'm not going to those two guys personally. I like my guy. I'm looking for minutes, and those two guys aren't getting enough minutes right now. That's what I look to when I make my lineups. I want guys that I know are going to get minutes, at least enough minutes to where they can be good plays. I just don't think the minutes are going to be there for those two. Doncic, Giannis, Durant team took down the 10K the other day. Yeah, I think it did too. Yeah, you're right. I had so much Durant. I lock buttoned Durant on that slate when Kyrie and LeVert were both out, and he had like 45. He wasn't even that good, and he was still in the winning lineup. I didn't have enough Luka on that slate, which is one of the reasons I wasn't able to take anything down. I did have a team place 11th, though, in the baller on Yahoo. What about LaVine? I do like Zach LaVine. I always have interest in him. He's expensive on DraftKings, but we know the upside's there. He's playing huge minutes in close games. Like, if the game's close, you're going to get 40 minutes from Zach LaVine, and he's got 50-plus point upside. It's just 9,500 on DraftKings is a lot to pay for Zach LaVine. Like, if I can find the salary, I think I'd rather play Giannis or Luka or just drop down to like Julius Randle. Any interest in Jordan Clarkson or DeAndre Hunter? Hunter is kind of a, not the best spot against the Jazz. I'm kind of off him, but Jordan Clarkson I do have some interest in. Like all those Utah guys I think are viable. Conley, Clarkson, Mitchell, Gobert, Bojan. I'm fine with all 5 of those guys tonight. Just such a good matchup. John Morant, if he plays tonight, I do have interest in Morant. Just depends on if he's limited or not. He's pretty cheap on DraftKings. He's 7,500 I think, and when Morant's fully healthy, he should be like a 9K player. So we're getting a good discount on Morant. It's just a matter of, if he plays, how many minutes will he play? We don't exactly know. Smart less viable if Brown is in. Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. If Brown plays, I'm less interested in Smart. If Brown is out, then Smart becomes more viable for sure. Because no Brown, no Tatum, still no Kemba. I mean, it would be Marcus Smart, like, doing everything for Boston. Teague would have to step in more. Like, I would like Teague a lot if Brown's out. I would like Pritchard a lot as well. All those guys will become viable for sure. Thoughts on Brandon Ingram? I like Brandon Ingram just because small forward sucks. Like, there's no good plays that stand out. If I'm paying up, I think he's the guy that I'd go to, given, the savings you get dropping down from LeBron and Kawhi. Like, I'd rather play Brandon Ingram for cheaper. He's still not like a top option for me on this slate, but just because of how bad small forward is, I think Brandon Ingram is viable on this slate for sure. It was weird, though, that he was so bad last game, and so many guys were out for the Pelicans. Like, Zion was out, Lonzo was out, Eric Bledsoe was out, and Brandon Ingram, had a terrible game. Giannis and Luka over 54 fantasy points. Yeah, I think you're probably going to get over 54 from both those guys. If the game stays close, you could see big games from both Giannis and Luka. How many minutes for Ja if he plays? I have no idea. This will just be something we have to wait and see on. I assume if he plays that we'll get a word on if he's limited or not. One lineup, what studs will you prioritize? Probably Giannis. Giannis for sure, then it'd be close between Julius Randle or Luka. Probably Giannis and Randle. I know they're both power forward, but I like both those guys quite a bit tonight. Damian Dotson for 5.2K, too cheap, right? He's getting the minutes. I wouldn't say 5.2K is too cheap. If he was 4K, then yeah, he'd probably be too cheap. But 5.2K, he can still disappoint at this salary. I know it's a good matchup, or I wouldn't say it's a good matchup. The Knicks have actually been playing way better defense this year. They play really slow. This game has under a 200 total. This game has a 196 total, which is just so that's so low for 2020 or 2021 NBA. We never see totals that low. There's not much I love from this game outside of Julius Randle, but I guess Dotson is fine. The minutes are going to be there, but at his price point, you still need him to have a really good game to pay off his price. Who's your favorite cheap center on DraftKings? It's probably Willie Cauley-Stein if he starts again. He'd be the guy I'd look to for cheap. What's up, Texas Trill? Appreciate you tuning in, my man. On FanDuel, Luka is 11,600, Giannis is 11,300. Who would you play? I'd probably play Giannis there, but it all just depends on positional stuff. I don't know what other point guards are available on FanDuel. I don't know what other power forwards are available. There may be other guys that stand out, at point guard. So maybe Luka isn't as good over there. But I guess just straight up between those two, I'd go with Giannis. If Brown is injured, is LaVine a good sub for him? Yeah, you could, if you want to just make a 1v1 swap, yeah, LaVine makes plenty of sense. Just swap him in or swap over Brown. But I really, I wouldn't, if Brown gets ruled out, I'd be looking to get more Celtics guys in. So, you probably want to get Teague, some exposure to Teague, some exposure to Pritchard. Marcus Smart be a lot more viable if Brown's out. Thoughts on Tristan Thompson tonight? Not sure if he's out or not. He's playing. Tristan Thompson is playing. Right now, Daniel Tice is questionable, so I think if Daniel Tice winds up out, then yeah, I really like Tristan Thompson because Tice would be out, plus Robert Williams is also out. So we should get about 30 minutes from Thompson if Tice is out, maybe even more. He would definitely be a guy worth considering, depending on what happens with Tice. Anybody against my Bulls going to score high? I like SGA against the Bulls, so give me SGA, I guess. Trae Young, yeah, I do like Trae Young. I think he's too cheap. The matchup's not good against Utah, but when do we get Trae Young at 8,700? We haven't seen him priced this low in quite some time. Definitely has upside to, blow this price out of the water. I will for sure have exposure to Trae Young. I'm definitely going to be overweight on him, and I like the Utah guys a lot tonight. So, if I'm playing a couple Utah guys, it does make sense to run it back with, Trae Young. Yeah, what's good, Noah? LaVine or White tonight? Appreciate it, bro. Between those two, even though, White's a little bit cheaper, I think I'd probably just go with Levine. But, both are definitely in play. I like that Bulls-Thunder game a lot. I think it can be probably one of the highest scoring games on the slate for sure. Best values, we talked about some cheap guys I liked earlier. Like, if Baisley's out, you got Pajeski who could start, and he's cheap. NAW, especially if Bledsoe's out again, I like for cheap. James Johnson should continue to get minutes. I like him as a cheap option. The Boston guys, like if Jaylen Brown winds up out, you got Teague, Pritchard, who are both cheap you could look to. Giannis and Diallo if he starts, or Gordon and Trey. I don't think Diallo would start, but maybe I'm wrong there. If Baisley's out, I would assume they start Pajeski, but between those two, I'd still probably take the first. Even if Diallo comes off the bench, I'd probably still take Giannis and Diallo. Would Tristan Thompson be a good yeah, we talked about that earlier. I like Thompson quite a bit if Tice is out. Royce O'Neal and your Utah guys you like. Royce O'Neal probably towards the bottom of my list. Like, I just rarely play Royce O'Neal. Just not a guy that I really want in my lineups just because he can completely tank your lineups. We've seen him pop off the random times this year for like 40 DK points. But most nights you're going to get 15 to 20 from Royce O'Neal. He's just such a low usage player that, he's someone I normally don't want much exposure to. Any Taco Fall? Probably not. Even if, I guess if Tice is out, then maybe he's like the backup center to Tristan Thompson. But if Tice plays, yeah, I have no interest in Taco Fall. Even if Tice is out, though, like, I don't know how many minutes they give him. Still, like, on the slate like this, I think there's other values I'd rather go to, honestly. Thoughts on Hamidou Diallo? Diallo's fine. Like, he's not someone that I love. He had that stretch where he was putting up massive games, and then he kind of cooled off these last two. His minutes have been down as well. Like, I don't know how many minutes he plays. Maybe if Baisley's out, you see a few more minutes for Diallo. It's a good matchup, but I think there's other guys I'd probably rather go to. Like, I know NAW is going to be way more popular, but I'd rather play NAW for $500 less than Diallo, especially if Bledsoe's out. I'd definitely take NAW there. Would you go back to J-Val after his monster game? Oh, yeah. I like J-Val once again for sure. I'm going to be way overweight on Valanciunas. Who are the Utah guys you like? It's mainly the starters outside of Royce O'Neal, so I like Mitchell. Conley, I think, is fine. Bojan, I actually have interest in as well. Rudy Gobert. Clarkson off the bench you could look to, but like those top four guys, especially because small forward's so bad. Honestly, Bojan's probably my favorite just because small forward sucks so much tonight. Especially on Yahoo, it's bad. You playing Marcus Smart? I'll definitely be interested in Marcus Smart if Jaylen Brown gets ruled out. I never like playing Marcus Smart. Yeah, I hate playing Marcus Smart because I feel like every time I do, it never works. And when he's chalk and you feel like he should do well, he never does. But if Jaylen Brown gets ruled out, they have no Brown, no Tatum, no Kimba. I would definitely have interest in Smart then. Luka or Giannis? Yeah, we already hit on that. Give me Giannis over Luka, but I like both. JaVale or Willie Cauley-Stein? Give me Willie Cauley-Stein between those two. JaVale, I don't know how many minutes he's going to play now that Jared Allen's on the team. Like, JaVale might get cut out of the rotation. I have no idea. Nurkic out at least 8 weeks. Oh, damn, that sucks. Kanter's going to be a guy worth considering then. I wonder how many minutes they're going to give Kanter. Like, I wonder if he's going to play the Nurkic role and they're going to give him like 28, 30 minutes. Dude, if Kanter starts playing 30 minutes a night, oh man, he's going to get up to like 6K, 7K. I love playing Enes Kanter. The dude always just, every time you play him, it seems like he always smashes. Or at least when I play him. Is Levine viable against Lou Dort? Been fading everyone playing against Dort. Yeah, Dort's a really good defender, but I still wouldn't let that take me off of Zach LaVine. The entire Bulls offense runs through LaVine and Kobe White, so I'd still be interested in LaVine. Hit that like button, y'all know is the truth. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I appreciate all you tuning in. I don't know how many we got in here, but please hit the like button. I appreciate that. Lamar Stevens or Alex Caruso and Min Price? Oh, God. I guess if I had to choose one, give me Alex Caruso, but I'm not really on either one. Better give Kanter 30 minutes. I picked his ass. Yeah. It's weird though, because when after Nurkic got injured, I don't think Kanter played that much. How many minutes did he play last game? Oh, that's the game. Not on. They don't play today, but yeah, Kanter. I remember Nurkic got hurt one game, and Kanter still only played like 18 minutes. So I have no idea what they're going to do. But yeah, Kanter's he's a fantasy monster when they give him minutes because he can score, he can rebound, he just stuffs the stat sheet. Any Taco love? I mean, yeah, we talked about Taco Fall earlier. Like, I would only be considering him if Daniel Tice is out, and still then, I don't even know if I'd love Taco then, just because, I love tacos, but I don't know if I'd love Taco Fall then. Just his minutes, like, we don't know. I mean, he could play 14, he could play 20 maybe, he could play 10. Like, it's definitely up in the air. Grant Williams, I think Grant Williams is definitely viable for sure. I assume he probably starts for Boston with Tatum out. He's not like a guy you love rostering, but, he's probably going to get the minutes, I would assume. Tice is out. Did we just get that news? I haven't seen that news yet that Tice is out. I think him and Jaylen Brown are both still questionable. But, yeah, I see the Nurkic is out 8 weeks. Damn. Tough scene. Grant Williams or Patrick Williams, between those two, give me Grant Williams. Jared Vanderbilt from Minnesota. Yeah, I think Vanderbilt picks up more minutes tonight with Hernan Gomez out. I'm going to be interested to see who they start for Hernan Gomez. If Vanderbilt starts, then yeah, I'd be a lot more interested in him because he's a pretty productive player when he does get minutes. Hello, Noah from Palm Beach, Florida. Love your advice. I appreciate that, Elvis. Thank you for tuning in, my man. Ford on Yahoo is awful. Wish they had some multi-position like DK. I don't really like the multi-position thing. Like, I think it kind of ruins. Like, you can basically just play everyone, like anyone at any position. I kind of like, you have to make tougher decisions on Yahoo, and I think that's why I like it. He's out on DK. Tice is. Says questionable for Friday. I don't really follow DK for injury news. I think, Fantasy Labs, NBA on Twitter, that's where you want to get your news from. Tice is still questionable for sure. Him and Brown are both questionable. Is Josh Hart going to start with NAW if Bledsoe's out? Yeah, I would assume if Bledsoe's out that they probably start, because Lonzo's out as well, so they'll probably start Hart. They'll probably start NAW at point guard and then Hart at shooting guard. The big question, though, is if Bledsoe plays, obviously Bledsoe would start if he plays, but then who starts for Lonzo? Do they go with Hart? Do they go with Redick? Do they go with NAW? Like, we don't really know. That's like the tough decision, I guess. But if Bledsoe plays, I think Bledsoe might be one of my favorite tournament plays today because I don't think anyone's going to be on him given he's questionable. It's a late night game. But his numbers with Lonzo off the floor this year are like crazy good. His usage rate skyrockets. His assist percentage skyrockets. He averages over a fantasy point per minute with Lonzo off the floor. I'm going to have a lot of Eric Bledsoe and just hope that he plays so that way I don't have to make a bunch of swaps late at night. But yeah, I'm going to be way overweight on Bledsoe, and I think he's going to be way lower owned than he should be, given that he's questionable, and it's a late night game. Valanciunas or Malik Beasley? Give me Valanciunas between those two. Isaiah Roby or JaVale? Well, I'm not on Isaiah Roby unless they start him for Beasley. If Beasley's out and they start Roby, then that would maybe, but I don't think they're going to do that. Really, Roby's only a guy I look to when Horford's out. Horford's playing today, so I'm not going to be on Roby. So I guess give me JaVale, but I don't really like either one of those guys. Who's your top overexposed guy? Honestly, like I just said, Eric Bledsoe. If nobody's going to play Eric Bledsoe because he's questionable, like I'll have a ton of Bledsoe tonight, and then if he gets ruled out, I'll just have to make a bunch of swaps. But I like being overweight on Bledsoe because I think his upside is massive with Lonzo off the floor. He's basically just a completely different player. Fantasy point per minute player. Going to be productive. Minutes will be there. I like him a lot. Is Towns out tonight? I think Towns is probable. Last I saw, he's expected to play. Marketing going to get enough minutes tonight to be viable? I think his price is like up, isn't it? Last I saw, he was kind of expensive. Yeah, he's $5,900. He's going to play. Like, I don't know, even at $5,900, if he plays his normal minutes, even if he's like a top option for me, I would assume he plays his full minutes given it wasn't really injury related. I think he was out for like health protocols, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was out for COVID protocols, so I would assume he's not going to be limited. But still, even if he's not, I don't know if he's a guy I really love on this slate. How much research do you do for your shows on YouTube? Well, my videos on YouTube that I upload the night before, they're my first look, so not a ton of digging's going in there. I mean, NBA is a sport where, like, it doesn't matter how much research you do the night before. Like, everything can change hour, 2 hours before lock. Just guys get ruled out, just change the whole slate. So, I just give my first looks on YouTube. People can watch those, and then they can tune into the stream. I'll give my more updated thoughts. And then if you want, like, my final core plays and all that stuff, that's posted on Patreon. Cole Anthony tonight, honestly, I'm probably not going to be on Cole Anthony. Like, even with Markelle Fultz out, like, Cole Anthony just hasn't been doing anything. Maybe he'll have a good game at some point, but I'll just wait for now. And against Boston, too, that just doesn't feel like the spot I want to play Cole Anthony. Thanks for the advice. You got it, Ricky. Sure thing, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Vooch or Joval? I mean, I love Joval, but I guess straight up I'd rather play Vooch. But if you're talking about price included, like, give me the savings on Joval. Can you still play NAW with Bledsoe in your lineup? I think you can. It depends on what their starting lineup is. If they start NAW and Bledsoe together, then yeah, you for sure can do it. I'd be a little bit more cautious if NAW comes off the bench because I don't know how many minutes he would play off the bench, but still, Lonzo's out, so I think if NAW comes off the bench, he probably plays like 24, 25 minutes. If he starts, I think he plays like 30, 32 minutes again. LeBron or Davis? I mean, I don't really like either one tonight, but I guess if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with LeBron. There's just other power forwards I like over Anthony Davis. Any interest in Atlanta guys should all be low owned, I think. Yeah, I do like Trae Young. John Collins, I think, is viable as well, but like Trae Young's the main guy I like from Atlanta. And yeah, he should be low owned, which is kind of crazy because he's 8,700. It's crazy that Trae Young's 8,700 and he's going to be low owned, but it's just kind of the slate we're working with. Favorite player tonight besides Bledsoe? I mean, I like SGA a lot. I like Joval a lot. Giannis is a great pay-up option. Julius Randle is a great pay-up option. Value-wise, we just have to wait and see with the injury news. Like, if Bazley's out and Pajeski starts, I think he's a good value. If Jaylen Brown's out, I think Teague and Pritchard are both good values. If Tice is out, I think Thompson's a good value. It's all dependent on the injuries right now. What's the highest scoring game tonight? Honestly, I think it'll either be the Dallas-Milwaukee game or the Chicago-OKC game. I know both those games have like two of the highest totals, but I know Chicago's playing at like the second fastest pace in the league this year. OKC's kind of middle of the pack. Milwaukee's always been a fast-paced team. Like right now, the Milwaukee game has the highest total, but I could see the Bulls game going higher, honestly. If Tice is out, is Thompson a lock? I wouldn't say he's a lock by any means, but he would be a good play for sure. I mean, nobody's ever a lock in DFS. Like, things can always go south. Even when I play guys 100%, that doesn't mean they're a lock to do well. That just means I'm very, very confident in them. But, you can feel like there could be a 3K guy that plays 40 minutes and something could still go wrong and he not be a good play. Thoughts on Josh Okogie? Yeah, I do like Okogie for cheap. He's like 3,600. He's going to play probably 30 minutes and start. No Juancho Hernan-Gomez. A couple more guys out for, like Ricky Rubio's out. So, I mean, if we're going to get Okogie starting, playing 30 minutes for 3,600, on a slate with not a ton of great value right now, I think Okogie's definitely in play. Towns or Randall? I'd take Julius Randle there, but I do have interest in both. Hart is a good pivot off of Bledsoe and Alexander Walker. Yeah, he could be. Hart played a ton of minutes last game. He was just terrible. Like, he didn't do anything. But he played like 38 minutes. So, if he starts again, I mean, you might get 38 minutes again from Josh Hart. If Tice is out, then shouldn't Taco get some more run? Yeah, he should as like the backup center. I just don't know if he'd get enough run to where he'd be viable on this slate. Like, if he plays like 14, 15 minutes, he could score like 20 points in that time. But is that going to be enough to really get you over the top? Probably not. I think there will definitely be better value on this slate. Thanks for the advice. I hope my Bulls can score big. You got it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you tuning in. Good advice. Anyone in the $5,700 price range that you could recommend for utility on DK? Let me see. 5,700. I mean, yeah, if Bledsoe plays, it's Bledsoe. That's the guy that I would take there. What do you think about Kemba? Kemba's not playing, my man. I mean, I like him as a player, but he's not playing right now. Is Teague worth a look with no Tatum? Yeah, I think he's worth a look with Tatum out, but I would prefer that Jaylen Brown be out too before I get too invested in Teague. But yeah, definitely without Tatum, Teague's actually leading the team in usage this season with Tatum off the floor, which is kind of crazy. It's a small sample size, but Teague's been good this year with Tatum off. Sorry if you answer this, but Zach LaVine, yeah, I do like LaVine. I always have interest in him. When the games are close for the Bulls, he's going to play a ton of minutes. He's going to be productive. It's just the price point is, way up there. He's like almost $10K on DraftKings, which is tough to pay for Zach LaVine. Where's the love for Rudy Gobert in an easy matchup? We've kind of discussed Gobert. I do like him quite a bit. I think I'd rather play Joval, though, for cheaper. Especially if Gobert is going to be more popular, I'd rather go to Valanciunas. But yeah, Gobert is definitely in play. Good matchup against Atlanta. Teague or Pritchard? Between Teague or Pritchard, I'd probably go with Jeff Teague there. I think Teague's Teague's a guy that can contribute more in terms of peripherals, whereas Pritchard's more scoring dependent. I usually always prefer the guy that can, chip in with rebounds and assists over the scoring dependent guy. If Jaylen Brown's out, I think both Teague and Pritchard are in play. Teague would be my preferred one, though. Jordan Clarkson or Anthony Edwards. Between those two, I would prefer Jordan Clarkson. Trae Young is so cheap. Yeah, Trae Young, I don't think we've seen him over 9K in a while. I don't even know if he was ever under 9K last year. 8,700, man. That's cheap for Trae Young. Bojan's 4.3K on FanDuel. Oh, that's cheap. I like that. What about Rashawn Holmes? Yeah, I think Rashawn Holmes is viable. He's not a top center play for me, but he's been playing really well. He's been getting the minutes. If they're going to keep giving him 35, 36 minutes a night, you're going to see 35, 40-plus point games from Rashawn Holmes very often. Do they keep doing that, though? I have no idea. His prices come way up, so I think, I'd rather get up to Valanciunas. Probably would rather get up to Gobert. But, Rashawn Holmes is definitely viable. For cash, who do you recommend? It's all dependent on injury news. If guys get ruled out, then that's just going to change everything. But right now, if everyone plays that's questionable, then James Johnson's cheap for cash. He looks like a solid value for cash. You probably want to try and pay up for Giannis on the slate in cash games, I think. SGA I like. He may be lower owned, but I would still consider him in cash games. Payton gets steals and assists. Let's see. What was that line he put up when he had that big game? I just feel like he's kind of like a three guy. He's got to knock down 5 or 6 threes to get there. I guess he's been contributing more with the peripherals this year, or than I thought he has. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. Maybe I'm a bit wrong there, but I think I'd still prefer Teague over him. Who's a good value? We've already talked about so many guys I like for cheap. It depends on the injury news right now because there's still so many guys questionable. But on the Boston side, if Brown gets ruled out, I like Pritchard and Teague for cheap. I like James Johnson as a cheap option to kill Alexander Walker. I think still in play. Those are the guys I'm kind of looking to right now for value. If Hero didn't get pulled last night, I would have took down the 100K GPP. Thanks for that advice lately, homie. Damn, Squidly. That sucks, man, but you got it, man. Did you go live yesterday? Because did not see you online. No, I did not go live yesterday. I didn't go live Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm probably not going to be live. I'm not going to be live tomorrow either, but I may go live Sunday. Haven't decided yet. NFL vid, yeah, just uploaded my NFL video for the divisional round. So if you want to watch that after this stream, it's already up on the channel. Start Randall. Yeah, I do like Julius Randle. We've already talked about him. He's a guy that I always have interest in. He's playing a ton of minutes. He's so productive when he's on the floor that, when he's playing 40 minutes a night, you're going to get 50-plus point games very often from Julius Randle. Against the Cavs, even though the Cavs have been better defensively this year, I still really like Julius Randle a lot. Thoughts on this low total? Yeah, the Cleveland-New York game, seeing a 196 total in a 2021 basketball game is just so weird. I don't know if we've seen a total under 200 points in forever. I don't know what Vegas knows, but they're expecting a very low-scoring game here between the Cavs and the Knicks. I still wouldn't let that scare me off like Randall, though. I still like Randall a ton. 278 people watching, only 61 likes. Let's get those likes up, homies. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. 278 people in here. I appreciate all you tuning in. As always, hope you guys have a great Friday. Have a great weekend for sure. And thank you for tuning into the stream as always. Randall or Giannis? I mean, if I can find the salary, I think I'd want to get up to Giannis. Triple overtime Cavs Knicks? Oh yeah, 100%. Game has a 196 total, so it's probably going to score about 300 points total. And you're probably going to need about 8 guys from that game to win. Looking at Schroeder, Clarkson, Halliburton, which do you like more? Between those three, I would rather go with Jordan Clarkson, Cody. I'd rather have Clarkson there. What do you think about Cauley Stein and Giannis in the same lineup? I have no problems with that. I mean, those guys don't really negatively correlate at all. I mean, if they start Willie Cauley-Stein again, I have to assume that he plays like close to 30 minutes again, so he's definitely in play as a value. And Giannis is obviously in play every slate. You think Holmes can stay out of foul trouble against the Clippers? He should go off if he does. I mean, yeah, I guess that's always a worry. If they're going to give him 36 minutes a night, then yeah, Richaun Holmes is going to be viable for sure. It's just that his price has gotten to a point where, you need a big game from him to pay out that price. Like, if Richaun Holmes has like a 35-point game, I mean, you're going to be pretty disappointed. Whereas when he was like 6K, I mean, 35 points at 6K, that's not killing you at all. Whereas at 6,900, that's not that great. You're going to need something better than that for sure. Randall or Vooch? Between those two, give me Julius Randle. Are the Lakers going to blow out the Pelicans? I mean, I have no idea. I don't really plan on or try and predict blowouts. I'm just going to play the guys I like. I like guys from the Pelicans tonight, and I'm not going to let potential blowouts scare me off of that. I mean, how much are the Lakers favored by right now? They're favored by 9.5. I mean, that's not crazy high. I know they're the biggest favorites on the slate, but I'm still playing a lot of those Pelicans guys, even though the game could blow out. Is it possible to play Giannis and Luka? I mean, it depends on what value we get. Right now, if you try and do that, you might be forcing in some gross value, but there could be some better value that opens up from now till lock time, till lock. So, yeah, you could definitely play Giannis and Luka. I'm going to have lineups with both those guys together if I can make it work. Ever had dreams of joining networks like ESPN? I mean, when I was a kid, I kind of did, but like right now, not really. Like, I enjoy playing DFS and fantasy sports, and I don't think ESPN, I mean, I know they have, like, their fantasy shows with, like, Matthew Berry and all that, but they don't really have, like, I mean, I guess they have that, I think it's called Daily Wager. It's like a gambling show. I mean, that's cool that, like, ESPN's getting, like, gambling more into their, network and stuff. They're putting up gambling shows, but, yeah, I like doing my own thing. Maybe when I was a kid, I was interested in that, but I guess not right now. Thanks, sir. I like your vids each week. I appreciate that, Cody. Thank you for liking the videos, my man. And I'm glad you do like them. Levine or Randall? Between those two, give me Julius Randall, but I have interest in both. Any news on Beverly and Louisville? Last I saw Jason, they were both still questionable, and I think that's the case right now. What did Shams just tweet out? The NBA and NBPA are discussing adding an additional roster spot for teams via a third two-way contract. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Like, why are teams not getting additional roster spots when teams are having to run 8 players out there? Like, let these guys pick some dudes off the street to play. I feel bad for the Heat, man. I feel bad for those guys from the Heat. They're probably worn the fuck out playing 40 minutes a night. What do you think about Smart? I mean, I have interest in Smart if Brown's out, so I'm just going to wait and see there. Right now, I'm not going to play a ton of Marcus Smart, but if Brown gets ruled out, then, yeah, I'll have a lot more interest. Rank Pelicans, including Price. I mean, if Eric Bledsoe plays, it's probably Bledsoe number 1, NAW number 2, Hart number 3, and then Zion 4, Ingram 5. But, like, NAW, Bledsoe, those are the guys I have the most interest in from the Pelicans. Is James Johnson a must-start with Kleber and DFS now? I mean, he's not a must-start, but he's a good value, I think. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but yeah, he's still for sure in play. Thanks for the content, Noah. With SGA at 30% projected ownership on DK, would you fade him in a single entry? He's projected for 30%? I thought he'd be a lot lower than that. Honestly, if I was playing one lineup tonight, I would still have SGA in my one lineup, but that's just me. I don't think he's going to be 30% owned, but maybe he will. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Ingram screwed me on another GPP win 2 nights ago. Can't forget it. Yeah. Dude, I feel like every time Brandon Ingram's like chalk and he's supposed to do well, it's when he sucks. And then when nobody plays him, that's when he goes for like 60. NAW still in play if Bledsoe plays. Yeah, he's still in play, but I would be less interested. Like last slate, I had close to 100% NAW. Unless Bledsoe's out again, then I probably won't have anywhere close to that. I asked this question before. Sorry if you had anyone 507 range could recommend for utility. Oh, so yeah, I did answer that, and I said Eric Bledsoe. So I'll give you someone other than Bledsoe at 5,700 or below. Let's see. I mean, it'd probably be Bojan Bogdanovic for me, 5,700 and below. I mean, that's the guy that catches my eye first off, like from first look. Or like the Boston guys. So if Brown's out, then you could go with Pritchard or Teague. I'd prefer Teague between those two. But if Brown plays, then yeah, I guess give me Bojan. If Brown is out, I'm just locking in Teague, Smart, and Thompson. I mean, I'm going to have a good amount of exposure to all three of those guys if Brown's out. I wouldn't say I'm going to lock them in, but I'll have a good amount across all my lineups. Oh, I got you, Jeremy. They are normally pretty close. I didn't think he'd be 30%, but I guess I'm wrong. I thought he'd be like lower owned given he's been struggling recently. What do you think of the recent blockbuster trade involving Harden? I mean, the Nets are going to be a serious, like if Harden, Kyrie, and KD are all on their top tier game, I mean, who is going to beat the Nets? I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, so I think the Lakers can beat anybody. Honestly, LeBron's the best player in the league. But God, dude, the Nets are going to be they're going to be so hard to beat with Kyrie, KD, and Harden. Like, holy crap. Opinion on Middleton and Gordon tonight. I don't really like Chris Middleton. I rarely play him when Giannis is healthy. But Aaron Gordon, I do have interest in. Like, just with all these guys out for the Magic, it's Gordon and Vooch just like doing everything. If no Jaylen Brown, who's a mini stack with Boston, Orlando between Smart, Gordon, and Vucevic. I mean, I don't think you have to like stack up that game, but yeah, Smart and Gordon I like. I don't mind either one of those guys. Would Capella or Collins get a rebound bump going against Gobert? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know how you really factor in a rebound bump. If anything, they're going to get less rebounds because Gobert is such a good rebounder. Okogie or Vanderbilt? If Vanderbilt starts, I'd prefer him over Okogie because he's a more productive player, but I don't think that's going to be the case, so I'd rather go with Okogie. I think Okogie's minutes are more secure as well. If Brown is out, what about Teague and Pritchard? Yeah, I like both Teague and Pritchard if Brown's out. Bojan's slash line is pretty good. Ceiling isn't too great, though. Yeah, I mean, he's got to hit like 6 threes to hit his price tag, but against the Hawks, he could definitely do it for sure. Thanks for the content, Noah. Now to take down that 10K baller tonight. Yeah, you got it, T-Bone. Hopefully if I'm not in first winning that thing, it's probably you. Or I hope it is you, my man. Appreciate you tuning in. And I checked and I saw that you were 10th in the tournament. It's pretty cool from a couple years ago. Will Al Horford be under-owned? I mean, he's probably going to be low-owned if I had to guess. I wouldn't say he's going to be under-owned, but he's just going to be – nobody's going to play Al Horford. I'm not playing Al Horford, so, if you want to, go ahead. Brooklyn Nets is basically the Harlem Globetrotters, should be killing everybody. I mean, yeah, when you have 3 All-Stars – like 3 elite scorers like that, I mean, I don't know how their defense is going to be. Like, KD's still a great defender. So, I guess, now that they don't have LeVert, maybe their bench is going to be a struggle, but they can, like, stagger the minutes so that, one of Kyrie, KD, Harden, one of those 3 guys be on the floor at all times. They're going to be tough to beat, that's for sure. I think they're the favorite right now to win, and it makes sense. What percentage will you put Morant in? Great matchup. It all depends on his limit. Like, if he's limited, I won't be playing much of him. But if he has no limits, then, yeah, I think he's actually viable for sure. How much exposure I would have? I mean, that just all depends on what value we get, what kind of news we get closer to lock. But really, I would have some exposure to Morant if he's not limited because he is too cheap if that's the case. What about Beasley? He's my GPP play. Yeah, I don't mind Beasley. He's expensive on DraftKings. Like, he's 7,100, I think. He's playing a ton of minutes, and with Towns back, I thought maybe Beasley would take a little bit of a hit with Towns back, but he's been playing well. Had 48 DK points last game, 34 minutes. He still took 23 shots. Like, he's going to play a ton of minutes. It's a good matchup. It should be a fast-paced game. I think I'd rather play SGA, honestly, on DraftKings. Like, give me SGA for a couple hundred more over Malik Beasley, but he's still viable. I don't think I'm going to have a ton of him, though, personally, but that's just me. Is Taco Fall viable tonight? I mean, it all depends on if Daniel Tice is out. If Tice is out, maybe you get like 12, 14 minutes from Taco, backing up Tristan Thompson. But still, I don't know if that's enough to make him somebody I want to get much exposure to. Brooklyn will fall off with Harden unless they get Harden to take a 6-man type role. I mean, I wouldn't say he has to take a 6-man type role, but they can just stagger the minutes so that maybe Harden runs the second unit whenever KD and Kyrie are taking a rest. They're going to stagger their minutes. Like, one of those 3 stars is going to be on the floor at all times, unless they're just getting like blown out. Like, they're going to have one of those 3 guys on the floor at all times. Who should I take at shooting guard? I'm lost. I mean, if you're talking about DraftKings, a couple guys I like at shooting guard. SGA, I think he's shooting guard eligible. Oh, he's not. I thought SGA was shooting guard eligible. Well, never mind on that, but Kobe White, Donovan Mitchell, if you're paying up, I like those guys. You could obviously pay up for Zach LaVine. If you're going cheap, I don't think there's a ton of great value at shooting guard, but I do like Bledsoe a ton in the mid-range if he plays. If Jaylen Brown's out, then you could definitely look to Jeff Teague at 4,400. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you can play at shooting guard as well. So those are some guys I like at the position. Thanks for going live. Sure thing, Michael. Would you play Morris even off the bench? Probably not. What, Markieff Morris, Marcus Morris? Probably neither one, honestly. And if Eric Bledsoe is active, he's a must play. I wouldn't say he's a must play, but if he's going to be like 10% owned or less than that, I mean, I'm going to have so much at Eric Bledsoe. I'm going to be so overweight on him because he's got 40-plus point upside with Giannis, or with with Lonzo off the floor. When Eric Bledsoe is the primary ball handler, like his usage, his opportunity, his numbers, they're just going to be way, way better. Harden should be the Ray Allen role. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Harden's too good of a ball handler to play like a Ray Allen type role. I feel like Harden's going to be the guy that like runs with the second unit. Maybe that'll be Kyrie, but I think Harden will probably be the guy that stays out there and runs with the second unit when KD and Kyrie are off. But I guess we'll see. SGA or Trae Young? I mean, even though Trae Young's more expensive, I think I'd rather play SGA for the savings. Power forward, mid-range, great work, bro. Appreciate your insight. Sure thing, man. Power forward in the mid-range. Let's see. Probably give me Bojan, 5,300 in the mid-range. I mean, if you can consider 4,600 mid-range and James Johnson, those are a couple of guys I like at power forward. Aaron Gordon, 7,300 if you're looking more towards the top. How do you see ownership? I'm new to DraftKings. I mean, you'll see ownership on players once the game starts, but if you want projections, like if you want projected ownership, you can go to other sites. They have that available. Could you play Bledsoe and NAW together? I think you can, especially if NAW still starts, then you can definitely do it. But I'll have lineups with both those guys for sure. I think both are still at a price to where they can both hit their ceiling. Like NAW, he's a chucker, man. When he comes on the floor, he's just going to take a ton of shots. Putting everything I own on Knicks Cavaliers to go over 197. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, how can they not score 197 total points? Like that just feels like so low, but Vegas is always pretty sharp. So watch the final score be like 96-90 or something. Or like, no. 98-97, and it has 195 total points. Do you think Nesmith gets some of the minutes tonight? I mean, probably not. Like if Brown's out, I'm looking to mainly Teague and Pritchard. Probably won't be on Neesmith, honestly. Bobby Portis or Tristan Thompson. If Daniel Tice is out, I would prefer Tristan Thompson. Bulls are all low owned on DK today. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense given their prices. Like, I don't think any of the Bulls are gonna be that popular because they're all pretty expensive. Kostas Antetokounmpo ruled out. John Wall's out Saturday. That'll be interesting. DeMarcus Cousins is doubtful. Oh, it's gonna be the Christian Woods show on Saturday. Who the Rockets play Saturday? I wonder if they're on the main slate. Oh, it's a 5 o'clock game against the Spurs. Damn. Can't roster Christian Woods Saturday, even though he's probably going to drop 50 again. I'd say my top 3 cash plays are Valanciunas, Aaron Gordon, and Mike Conley. I don't mind those. Valanciunas is always kind of risky for cash, but the upside is definitely there. So when the price is right, he's cash viable. So if Brown is out, how many Boston players is good? I mean, if Brown's out, I could see playing like Smart, Teague, and Pritchard in one lineup. I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't go heavy on those guys, but, those would be the 3 I'd look to first. The Houston game, I don't think it's going to be on the main slate, Vendetta. It's a 5 o'clock game, so they'll probably cut it off the main slate if I had to guess. Say Grant Williams is about to go off. Ooh. I mean, what do you consider going off for Grant Williams? Like 25? I mean, his upside, I don't think Grant Williams has a ton of upside, but he should get more minutes tonight with Tatum out. Maybe he gets more usage as well. He's 3,500. If he starts, he could be viable, especially because we don't have a ton of great, standout value right now. All right, guys, it's 4:30. I think I'm going to wrap this thing up. I've been live for about an hour. I appreciate all you tuning in once again, man. I don't know how many viewers we topped out at, but thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. Hope you win some money tonight. Best of luck as always. Hope you have a great weekend as well. I'll have videos up for the weekend slates, but I don't think I'm going to be live tomorrow. I might go live Sunday. I haven't decided yet, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Best of luck tonight. Thanks as always, guys. I love you. Peace out. Good luck.